No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Oh, how we doing, Bronco Nation? Happy Tuesday to you here at BroncoNationNews.com. Bronco Nation News, our various social media channels. This is a Taco Bell Tuesday, and it's a Tust Tuesday as well. So no Twitter for Tust, but we still got him here for Bronco Nation News Live on a Tuesday. My name is BJ Rains. I am in the Western Collective Studios. Make sure you pick up that Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Cast Seltzer Friday at Albertson Stadium. And yes, Tust, KTVB Sports Director, is with us. Jay, I know it's been a frustrating few days for you without Twitter, but appreciate you stopping your pursuit of Twitter support for 45 minutes and jumping on with us.
I don't even know what's going on. I didn't realize how much I know I spent a good amount of time on Twitter, but I didn't realize how much I get from Twitter, like especially in the sports world. And it was interesting, like even to watch the World Series last night, not be able to go like have a conversation with everybody else that appears to be watching it. And why Giancarlo Stanton didn't slide head first into home, which would have made the target smaller, in my opinion, to tag him. No, but I miss it, man. And Tust stats are just waiting for the moment that I get unlocked or whatever's going on. And I'll hopefully be back. I might just have to start kind of another one while I wait. My name is out there, so I might just go and get that one for now. And I hope I get it back though, because there's been a lot of time that's gone into that Twitter handle to build that audience. If anybody's got any advice, please let me know, because Twitter is very, very slow to respond.
You were a little frustrated, but you were way more calm than I probably would have been during that game when this was all unfolding.
Only because I had been up since 5 and I kind of already had just been through it. And I don't know, I was kind of honestly past the point of frustration at that point. And so I also thought at the time that Twitter would actually respond in a reasonable amount of time, but emailed them on Friday. It is now Tuesday, and I am still waiting to figure out how to simply log back into my my Twitter account, which is really frustrating.
So what exactly happened for folks that are wondering?
Okay, so
sure, you tweeted something, R-rated and got reported or something, I'm sure.
No, definitely not. It was, way much more simpler than that, I would say. I love my job, but like it is a grind, especially when you're on the road and it's long days. That's just the truth. And so I'm doing the pregame show. My laptop starts to die. My charger, I've been having problems with it, won't work. And so I borrow my coworker's charger, and literally his charger starts to like spark and smoke like it's catching fire. I'm not making this up, while I'm trying to host a pregame show basically by myself. And so I immediately rip that out of the, while I'm like in a VO, I like rip that out of the power charger or the surge protector. And I'm like, okay, well, my computer's just going to die and I'm going to lose it. And so I don't have a playback monitor. I don't have scripts. I don't have a rundown. I'm in the field. I'm hosting an hour-long show, basically completely blind. And at that point, you just go, all right, it is what it is. And so after the pregame show wraps up, again, I can't get my laptop on. So I borrow my buddy's laptop that I'm down there with, and I try to log into my Twitter account from his laptop. And I get locked out of my Twitter account, so I try to create a new password, and then it signs me out of my app on my phone, and so I can't get the two-step login verification code. And so now I'm just waiting for Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it to respond and allow me to, I don't know whether they're going to give me the code. I don't know how to prove myself or what's going to happen next, but it'd be really, really unfortunate if I lost that Twitter account by just simply trying to work and overcome.
I mean, it's still there, right?
You're a charger that caught on fire during a pregame show. You're
going to get it back at some point here. I don't think they're going to just forever take it away because you don't have a
code.
Really.
I don't know, man. I really hope so. Like I said, I sent the email on Friday, and all that I got back was an automated response. And I Google, it says, maybe 24 to 48 hours. And like I said, it is now Tuesday, and I have had no actual interaction with X or Twitter or whatever.
Well, let's get on this, folks. Start DMing, start messaging Twitter support. Help out our man Jay Tust here. And
so frustrating.
You're showing me the little code thing. I never even heard of that. The little code. You're supposed like a code generator. Where am I supposed to get that? I never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I miss the days where they just send you. I think you got to pay for it. I can't remember exactly, but I think they got to. I don't know. I miss the days where they get to send you a text message. You'd verify the number like most like bank accounts or my work or anybody else does, but that's not in the cards anymore, I guess.
KTVB Tust Stats, the new account, the Boise Squid says.
Might just go J Tust. I don't know. We'll see.
At least you get to sit back and enjoy the game. I was sitting 3 feet from Jay, I wouldn't say he was just sitting back enjoying the game. There was a couple fist pounds on the table. There was a couple what is going on here?
The first half was the most frustrating half of football I've ever watched because I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of it. I was trying to solve my own issues, but then the second half, at that point in time, it was such a long day. I just said, forget about it. We're just going to watch this thing so I can actually ask questions at the post-game press conference and know what I'm talking about.
Well,
it's crazy how it throws you off. Like I there's this book, The Habit Loop that I read back over the summer or whatever, and it talks about forming habits and things like that. And if you take one thing out of your routine, it like kind of throws everything off, or it can. And not having Twitter on a game day or something like that, I'm like, it really like just throws me off big time. But we'll figure it out.
Taz fan says misses the day can just call customer service.
Same.
Jay, I'm gonna kick this off. I was gonna play this at the beginning of the show. I forgot, but here's a 20-second clip that I think that'll be circulated and played about 50 million times this week to get our discussion going here.
Did you see what Ashton Jeanty did today? Did you come in understanding and try to compete with that and understanding that, hey, look, y'all can start talking about me too and put my name in some of those conversations with the things that he did today?
I seen what he did today. I don't think he's the type of back that I am. I think I'm the best back in this conference. And I don't think he's the type of back that I am. I think I'm the best back in this conference. And I want to make that known. Got cut off there at the end. But our friend Marquez Cooper coming to Boise on Friday, and
he's actually having a pretty solid season. He's a pretty solid running back. So this is mostly in good fun that we kind of bring this up. Obviously, you want your player to have confidence. He's a very confident player, no doubt about it. I don't think anybody would actually say he's the best back in the league, though, or the type of back. He's not the type of back he is. Ashton Jeanty's a much better back, but Marquez Cooper is a very solid player, so I think this is mostly coming up in fun. I almost thought about asking one of the two of the coaches about it yesterday, and I thought maybe it's better for the little shorter scrum with Spencer tomorrow just to have a little fun with it. But we'll see today who talks, if anybody saw it or anything. But you have to imagine that either was played in the team meeting or whether it's in good fun, whatever. They'll use any kind of motivation thing they can use. And I don't think Ashton Jeanty needs motivation. I think his quote-unquote bad game that some people are calling it might be enough motivation in itself for him this week to get back, to 200-plus yards or whatever. I mean, I don't think Ashton Jeanty is the guy that's going to go out there saying, I got to prove Marquez Cooper wrong. But maybe the defense wants to shut Cooper down. Maybe there is something to it. I don't know. But I'm sure that Marquez Cooper will get a standing ovation from the crowd when he takes the field on Friday.
So one thing I'll say about this, I got a couple things. I'm going to start with this. So Marquez Cooper is a transfer, right? So he's kind of the new guy in the league. I remember my senior year of high school football at Stadium. We do these tackling drills to start out every practice, basically. And as you're in the line, you kind of always peek to see, you kind of look around. Who am I going to get matched up against? Okay, whatever, that guy, friend, perfect, whatever. And there's sometimes you look over there and be like, okay, I better, make sure I got my pad level right and stuff like that, like really fine tune it, because you go get somebody that would pop you. And so there was a kid that transferred in from another school, and he looked a little he was strong, but he looked a little leaner, right? And so I was like, oh, okay, this kid, whatever. And I go up and I hit him, and he pops me pretty good, man. And I was like, whoa, okay, where'd that come from? And so I feel like Marquez Cooper was, the kind of the guy in line looking down and be like, I don't know much about the new guy, so let's just go. We can go at it, whatever. And then Ashton Jeanty would just run him over, So all that being said, man, like this one, I probably have a different take. Like when Travis Hunter speaks up and says things, and he's chasing. I can't even remember what he said this week. It was something along the lines of creating records, not chasing records. Yep. What records do you have? Like, what records are you setting outside of just snap count? Like, it sucks because I don't want to be
offensive and defensive conference player of the week in the same week.
Yeah, it sucks because I don't want to demean him because he's a great player, but like, why does he have to talk down or whatever to what Ashton Jeanty's doing? Like, it's so ridiculous. And so, I don't know. Good for him. Also, the Big 12 conference, I think we can all agree, is not what it's been in the past. So if we really want to get nitpicky here, I would say that. But I mean, what Ashton's doing is insane right now, and there's no reason to knock it. Back to Marquez Cooper, though. My take on him is going to be a little different. Like he's a good player, guys. Like he is. Like, got a little overconfident in the moment. Probably shouldn't have said that or gone to that point. I get why he also has to think that, being a competitor.
Sure.
But I'll say this: there's a good chance that Marquez Cooper finishes with more career rushing yards at the college level than Ashton Jeanty will. Career. He's been doing this for a while. Started his career at Kent State, had a couple 1,000-yard seasons there. Went to Ball State last year, had another 1,000-yard season before transferring to San Diego State, where he will probably have another 1,000-yard season. So he is a good running back, but he just kind of let that answer get away from him for a minute.
Victor Cruz to blame? The question?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Also probably have to say, I don't know. Yeah, I always look at the way Ashton would answer these questions, and he'd probably say like, oh man, the guy's a great running back. I mean, I think I'm really, really good too, and he's good, and we're all good, and things like that. And that is exactly how he responded to Travis Hunter. So I'm assuming Ashton Jeanty would say something, oh yeah, I respect his game, but I just, I think I'm the best running back in the country, but he's a great running back and I respect his game. That's what I would expect. But yeah, if I was Spencer Danielson, I am using that this week. And everybody, in college football, that they're so close, they're so careful about providing bulletin board material and things like that. In this case, use the heck out of that. Show Ahmed Hassanin that. Show Marco Notriani that, and the guys in the middle of that defense. And make sure that they see that clip this week, because those guys they play hard for each other and they play hard for Ashton.
The game against San Diego State over the weekend, or against Washington State, you obviously were probably watching that closely, with your rooting interest there. Great game down to the wire. I mean, San Diego State was up 2 scores there in the fourth quarter. I had already tweeted something out, midway through the first quarter. Maybe I, reverse jinxed it for you, Jay. San Diego State, looking good, coming in, already in control of their own destiny in the conference, about to get looking nice. And then Washington State storms back and gets the win there. But, San Diego State, I believe, that Sean Lewis is going to get it going there. It's going a little bit, up and down, I guess, but they are undefeated in conference. And they did not win the last time they came to Boise, 2022.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know what that was about.
Again, whatever fires up a team, or not, just go for it.
Did you add some context to that? We were just told at the press conference yesterday, Spencer Daniels was pretty passionate about it. He said, this last time San Diego State was here, they won on the blue, and
like 3 times he said it.
Actually, last time they came to San Diego State, it was it's kind of one of those unforgettable games, BJ, because of how it went down. Like, Tim Plow gets fired after a devastating loss at UTEP, and then Boise State comes home and they're trailing 13-0 at halftime, and Sam Vidlak's playing, and Dirk Cutter's just taking over as the offensive coordinator. And then all of a sudden they come out at halftime and just boat race San Diego State to a 35-13 victory. So
113 total yards for San Diego State in that game. I was studying that game yesterday.
I think George Tarlas had a good game that game. It's just like
78 passing yards, was the leading passer. Yeah.
It's just kind of hard to forget that one. So, I don't know where that came from, man. Last time San Diego State was here, they actually lost, but it was in 2018, and that's what maybe we're thinking. And that was a tough afternoon on the blue. It's kind of an earlier kickoff. What was it, 19-13? They couldn't get rolling on offense, and I think San Diego State made a special teams play or something, if I remember correctly. And that was one that would probably stick in your memory bank as one you want to forget, but. Not
I think the 2022 season, a lot of people wanted to forget about that too. The last couple of years, probably. So I can understand that. But yeah, it was I want to say a Friday night game right after they had fired Tim Plow. They come back in, a lot of intrigue, whatever, and they're down 13-0 at the half, I believe, and then just shut them out. I think in the second half, scored 35 points, came back and got the win. And so, But San Diego State has been one of the few teams. I bet you, Jay, if we go back and look in terms of record on the blue or multiple wins on the blue in the last decade, like they've got probably just as many as anybody does. Yeah.
Well, more than anything, I mean, I feel like this is a little bit of a rivalry, because San Diego State, I mean, since Boise State has been in the Mountain West, has played, the Broncos pretty hard. And I think it was last year, the win over San Diego State actually gave Boise State a winning record against the Aztecs since they've been in the same league together. Outside of that, there was so San Diego State won 4 of the first 7 matchups against Boise State. Boise State's got the last 2. So at one point in time, the Aztecs did have a winning record against the Broncos until Boise State took these last 2 meetings.
Yes, I agree with you on that. Where was my quote at here? Oh, BSU Bill. Their quarterback's a true freshman, first experience in a hostile environment. Chin's blitz packages should have him seeing ghosts.
Man, he has been this pass rush has been awesome. San Diego State, like, if you would have asked me like week 3 of the season, I'd be like, oh, they're gonna boat race them. But they figured it out a little bit, and they have a freshman quarterback that has kind of solidified their offense, I would say. The way that Boise State's dialing up pressure, I expect it to be difficult for him to figure it out, especially on the road, loud environment. I think that's why, you look at Boise State's pass rush, sold out crowd at Albertson Stadium. I think that's why, being loud whenever San Diego State's offense is on the field is going to be a key factor in this game. And trying to make it, as difficult as possible on that freshman quarterback. I think Boise State's going to be fine on Friday. Don't get me wrong here, but that quarterback has definitely helped them since he's been able to return from injury.
BSU Bill wondering about Jeanty's health. Are we confident he's fully healthy? If so, this matchup again is perfect for Jeanty. And there's a reason I like rewatching the game on TV, because you see a lot of things that you don't see in person, Jay. When we're in the press box and dealing with Twitter account issues and everything else going on, you're watching the game, but sometimes you just don't see a guy go into the medical tent, or you just miss something as much as we try to see everything. And I know Jeanty came off, went back in, but there was a time right before the Andrew Simpson pick, I guess, where Jeanty actually went into the medical tent, got taped up in multiple spots, or had some sort of brace or something on his elbow, shoulder there, and then they put a little white sleeve on top of it to try to cover it up. I didn't notice that live, and then noticed it on the broadcast when they brought it up. I mean, Spencer Danielson said that Ashton Jeanty practiced yesterday, but I'm not confident to say he's 100%, Jay. I mean, 31 carries or whatever in back-to-back games. There were multiple times in that game against UNLV where they had to basically peel him off the turf and just kind of, I mean, the guy is an absolute warrior. Do I have any doubt that he's going to play and be fine? I mean, no, I think he'll play and be fine on Friday, but I'm not – no football player is 100% at this point in the season. And definitely with Ashton Jeanty, back-to-back games, and what we saw there, I mean – I guess ideally it's his offhand left arm. Most of the time the ball's in his right arm and has nothing to do with his legs or his shoulders or whatever else. But no, I'm not confident to say Ashton Jeanty is 100% or even close to it, probably.
No, but that goes back to what you just said, and that's what I was going to say, BJ, is at this point in time in the football season, nobody is completely healthy. Nobody is fully healthy or 100% anymore. That's just not the way that this game allows you to operate, right? So I don't think he's 100%, but I think that he's healthy enough, and I know that he's a guy that really takes care of his body and does the little things between game day to make sure that he's ready to go, come kickoff on game day. To talk about his work usage, there was there was a big point or big storyline in the season where he would sit second halves, and despite the fact he'd have this rushing total that would lead the NCAA, he was like 15th or 20th in carries, so he was averaging 10 yards per carry and things like that. Well, to show you his usage over these last two games, he actually ranks third in college football with 64 carries over the last 3 weeks, which is funny about that, or interesting, is Boise State had a bye in the middle. So I mean, he has had almost as many carries, in 2 games as some of these guys have had in 3 games. He's over the last 3 weeks. So he has been toting the rock recently. 31 carries, tied a career high against Hawaii, comes back and sets the record, at least for a personal best, against UNLV with 33 carries. But he has been a workhorse these last couple of games. I'll point it out too. 2 road games, two good run defenses. Ashton is still, by himself surpassed what those rush defenses were allowing by a pretty good margin. But I will say this, man, like it's kind of funny. And when Spencer Danielson, he almost jokingly said it, and I think that he wanted to show this as an example because he wants to show that he's fair and he's going to critique everybody. But the turf monster reached up and grabbed Ashton at one point in time, and the play was blocked up beautifully. And Spencer Danielson said he showed it to the guys and, looked at Ashton like, what's going on there, man? In a team meeting. And, I don't know how serious it was. But going back and looking at that play, that could have been a 70-yard house call. Like it was that close if he's able to stay on his feet there. And so it's so weird to ever be critical of Ashton Jeanty because he's so unbelievable and nobody operates at 100% or is perfect in every single game. But I bet you if he goes back and he looks at that thing, there really were a couple of runs there where he was so close. And we're all used to witnessing Ashton Jeanty, do the unbelievable. And so we kind of just judge him differently. But there were a couple of runs there, man, where if he go back, he probably wishes he could have another crack at them because I'm not saying he left, a couple 60-yard runs on the table because it's just stupid to say. But I bet you he wishes he had another crack at a couple of them.
I like Dylan Riley. I like what I've seen from him, Jay. He's done a pretty good job. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more of him the last 2 weeks. You asked about that yesterday, I think, in the press conference, or somebody did. But Sky says I need the other running backs to spell him more. I don't know if it's just on the road in a one-score game. You don't trust a freshman yet. I don't know, but I get it. Breezy's, been out. Sires, I'm not sure he's coming back this season. We'll see. He's obviously out. I get it. You're going pretty far down the depth chart, but I think they went the whole game where it was just Madsen and Jeanty rushing the ball. I don't remember in the last drive when we were going down to the field if Crow ended up getting a carry or not. I know he had a reception in a big spot, but the lack of trust or willingness, I guess, to as those carries were piling up to want to give even 1, 2, 3, 4 carries to Dylan Riley or Tyler Crow, I thought was at least notable.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like they've kind of got to figure that out too, and Tyler Crow did have 1 carry late in the game, but still, what is that? I think what it comes down to is that Ashton Jeanty is so good between the tackles, and Dirk did a good job of explaining why they aren't trying to run outside more, at his press conference yesterday. And, opposing defenses are trying to set the edges so wide and squeeze everything back in because they don't want to allow Ashton Jeanty to get the edge. And if he does, he's gone. Right. And so if that's the way that opposing defenses are playing, you have to make sure that your running back, you trust between the tackles. And I think that Dylan's going to be a great player too, man. Like I do, but it might seem like an opinion. I don't feel like it is though, when he doesn't get a carry in that game though. So it's just, I don't like to make bold statements like that or, assumptions or anything like that. But if they felt like he could, then he would have.
Oh yeah.
I think it's simple. Especially when Ashton was like, kind of feeling it there for a little bit. Again, like there's so much. It's nice to there's so much coverage of Ashton sitting at halftime and things like that. Well, there should be equal amount of coverage of the fact that he played almost every single snap on offense against UNLV. That guy barely left the field. He would leave the field for basically when he was injured, figure it out and get right back on the field. So, yeah, you just feel like it would be great if there was a way to take a couple carries off him so that 33 carries was 28 carries, which is really funny because we've also talked and joked with Dirk this year about, don't you just want to give Ashton the ball every time? And then there was a moment where they were basically giving it to him every time against UNLV.
Yeah. No, obviously they don't trust him. They don't feel he's ready. They don't feel those guys are ready if they don't want to give them the ball in those spots. But you would think for a couple carries like that, you would think that you could find some way. And I've been impressed with what I've seen from Dylan Riley in the limited action he's gotten. I just thought that was notable.
Honestly, if that's the case though, BJ, then I was thinking like, I know that Tyler Crow is not Ashton Jeanty in terms of his explosiveness, and that's just is what it is. And Tyler would probably agree, but Tyler can run tough between the tackles if you need him to get after for a couple carries for you. And I think that I would trust Tyler. And Tyler actually probably made one of the more unsung plays in that game. Like that catch he made wasn't the easiest catch coming out of the backfield. He replaced Ashton for like one play on that final 8-minute drive, at least early in that drive. And he kind of made like a twisting catch to pick up 5 yards on first down. And if he drops that, or if he doesn't bring that in, 2nd and 10 in that situation is so vastly different than 2nd and 5. Like 2nd and 5, now you are still trying to grind the clock, just move the ball 5 more yards for another first down. 2nd and 10, you might be opening up like, okay, we got to dip into our playbook a little bit further to maybe throw it, something like that. And then all of a sudden you can't stay on the field for the final 8 minutes of the game. So that was a quiet play by Tyler Crow that really helped Boise State come out with a road victory.
Brian asked about when Sires set to return. We keep hearing he's in the training room. He's working, Jay, but I would still, my personal belief, opinion, whatever, is that it's less than 50-50. We see him again this year.
Yeah. I'll just approach that with caution.
They haven't told us he's out for the year. We'll see. Yeah. And maybe they're holding out hope because maybe the college football playoff game is late December, whatever. He does have.
And one thing I will say about,
one more game
about that, BJ. Right? Yep, exactly. And so if he's got one more game that he could technically play in the regular season, and then once they get to, the Mountain West Championship, the bowl game, the college football playoff, none of that counts. And so I don't think that I'm still of the mind that I don't think that they're just going to keep, like, if Sire could play tomorrow, he would play tomorrow. They wouldn't worry about that. But he was still in a boot. He was at Las Vegas at the very least, though. I mean, that was good to see. But he was still in a boot on the sidelines, kind of walking around. He was close to the running backs and things like that throughout the game. I don't know how realistic it is to kind of expect him in the immediate future.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
not very.
At the end of the year, you're happy about it. But if you're I would put extreme caution on that. I would expect him to be out for the year. And if you get anything from him, then you call that a bonus. I would not be planning or hoping that he's back anytime soon. And if he does find a way to get back late in the season, then you just can't take that as a bonus, Jay.
Yeah, I agree. They could certainly use him though, man. Like I whether it be against Hawaii, whether it be against UNLV, he would be the guy that would take those, 4 or 5 carries off of Ashton Jeanty. Basically what we saw him do at Oregon, where he had 5 carries, wasn't crazy productive with them, but still it was just an opportunity to give Ashton, a few snaps on the sideline to rest up or whatever. And it made a difference in that game because Ashton played phenomenal and had a big second half and was great in the fourth quarter.
No doubt. I want to talk defense a little bit, Jay, both good and bad things with the defense here, but we're 30 minutes in. I need to thank a couple of our sponsors here real quick. Western Collective, our studio sponsor, whether it's the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer, you can pick them up both Friday at Albertson Stadium. They're also available at most local retailers around town. I know Albertsons has them. And again, a portion of the sales of every Golden Ale and Orange Chaos Seltzer from Western Collective goes to benefit the Horseshoe Collective and puts money back in the pockets of the student athletes at Boise State. So next time you want to get a beverage there at the game and you're looking at the selections, the Golden Ale beer or the Orange Chaos Seltzer, there's more involved in it than that, and it goes back to the student athletes. So check them out. And again, the brewery in Garden City is open as well. Western Collective, our studio sponsor here at Bronco Nation News. Rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. Again, whether it's those concrete coatings, whether it's the interior, exterior painting, all your painting projects, think no further than our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Website is roepaint.com. And again, all your painting needs are the official paint and coatings company at Boise State Athletics. Check them out online at rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union. How about Tyson Degenhart? 31 points in an overtime loss to BYU in the scrimmage on Saturday, but it was a very encouraging game from what I heard for Boise State. Tyson Degenhart, 31 points. And again, he's got to deal with ICCU. We'll have another episode of the Tyson Degenhart Show coming up shortly. May even be next Thursday, the night after the opening game. But we are working on that and going to have some good guests. ICCU.com. Again, there's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile eBranch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check them out, ICCU.com. Matt Bauscher Real Estate. He's part of the Boise State home team now. He's backing it up, putting his money where his mouth is, and he's doing a great job. We appreciate Matt Bauscher for his support of Bronco Nation News and purchased our home and sold our home using Matt and his team, and Cade, Kelly, Sarah, the whole crew you see in the picture there do a tremendous job. Very specialized every step of the way. It's a different person helping you with different things. So they know their area, whether it's the inspection or whether it's the paperwork, just all the stuff. They got you covered. So I highly recommend Matt Bauscher and his team. I know sometimes you think the bigger brokerages, don't have the personal attention. No, it's the opposite. You get more with Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online, BauscherRealEstate.com. And again, any size home, no home is too big or too small. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets, 13 locations around the state of Idaho, the surrounding states. They got that CUNA location. Love going there. The Star location as well, whether it's Treasure Valley, Magic Valley, McCall, all around, even the surrounding states. Like I said, they have almost 30 Ridley's Family Markets in all, and just get that hometown friendly feel when you go into the grocery store there at Ridley's. So check them out. Find a location near you online at shopridleys.com. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. The weather is cooling down. Perfect time for that spa for the back patio there. Check them out online, thespateam.com. And if it's not a spa, then how about a pool table for the game room, a sauna? They got it all. Pool and spa, patio and game. Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team against Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. Check them out online at thespateam.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, we appreciate them as well. LithiaFordBoise.com. They got NIL deals with 6 student athletes at Boise State, including 4 football players. Jim Sturk and company, also providing vehicles for a lot of the coaches, a lot of the athletic department staff. Again, you're not going to find a bigger supporter, both just as a fan and as someone that writes the checks, than Lithia Ford of Boise. So return the favor next time you're looking to purchase that next vehicle, that next car or truck. Rain's family love an RF-150. They've got all the electric vehicles, the Lightnings, the Mach-E's, all those as well. Check them out online. View the full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com, or go check them out there on Fairview Avenue in Boise. All right, Jay, some of the comments here asking about the secondary, taking some shots at the secondary here and some of the big plays and the corners. I know obviously has been a question, a topic all season long, Jay. Jesse's asking, Demario Warren, is he the issue, or do you think it's the DBs? Because having players almost 10 yards off the line is crazy in my book, but I'm not a coach. It looks like Irby Banks can stay. Irby's kind of bounced back after a little bit of a slow start, I think, to the year. Banks is really coming on and playing well. Overall, just I guess I want to get to the sacks and the positives there, but we'll start with the corners, the pass defense, and that ongoing question. Where are you with that?
I think this is kind of who this team is, BJ, and it kind of is what it is. And Boise State is kind of willing to give up a little bit in some areas to try to take in other areas. They've been really good at getting to the quarterback. They also bring pressure a lot, which means they're putting their cornerbacks and other people in coverage in difficult positions quite a bit. And if you do that, you're probably going to give up some big plays. And that's what Boise State has done so far this year. I think that they take the good with the bad and the bad with the good and all that stuff. And right now they lead the nation in sacks, and they've given up some big plays, but I think that's just kind of what they're willing to do on defense. And some of these guys have gotten better. I think that Amarion McCoy played pretty good against UNLV, all things considered. Jeremiah Irby has played better these last few games. And you're right, Devon Banks is certainly coming on, but it kind of is what it is. I think that they are, by just the nature of how they play defense and the style in which they call and all that stuff, like that's an area where they're probably going to give up a little bit. And I don't know, it kind of is what it is. I don't know if it's going to change drastically. I think Dirk said this about their offense yesterday. They have strengths and they have weaknesses, and Boise State knows them, and it's all about amplifying and utilizing your strengths and trying to protect your weaknesses. And I on defense, I don't know if it's necessarily like too much the case, and they just kind of are what they are. And so far it's led to a 6-1 start, undefeated in Mountain West Conference play, and a 15th ranking in the AP top 25. So I think it is what it is, man.
Vlad blames the media for the DB and the receivers both being underperforming this year. He says, well, they sold us a load of crap saying the receivers were awesome and the DBs were competing with them. They didn't lie. They just don't know how to evaluate talent. That was a storyline in fall camp. Great secondary, and the receivers were doing great. And maybe we oversold both a little bit. Maybe the receivers were having a little success because the DBs weren't as good. Maybe the DBs were having some success at times because the receivers weren't as good. We can only report and say what people tell us and what we see at practice, Jay. And maybe that battle where both those, groups at times have underperformed this year, did look a little better in fall camp. I don't know. But obviously those are two positions that I don't know. It's not like the receivers have had a lot of drops and things. They just, haven't gotten a ton of separation. And also this just isn't really a passing team. I mean, they're going to run the football. So you're not going to have guys with 10 catches and 100 yards in some of these games. So I don't really know what people are looking for from the receivers. They haven't, they've had a couple drops, but is that on Prince Strawn that Maddox Madsen threw the ball into the stands or whatever on that, corner of the end zone route? I'm not trying to defend the receivers. I guess I'm just a little confused why there's being a ton of hate thrown there, Jay, in terms of what are they? I'm not noticing a lot of drops. I'm not noticing a lot of, I don't know. I'm not trying to blame Maddox Madsen either. The passing game is what it is. I think this is a run first team.
They are a run first team. And by the way, Maddox Madsen threw the ball into the stands because probably didn't want to turn the ball over inside the red zone. And then Boise State went on to score on that drive too, by the way. So, it's there are only so many yards in a season. Like, you know what I mean? Like a team can't gain 10,000 yards in a season. There's only so many yards in a season. And right now your running back's on pace for almost 2,600 yards. So it's going to be really hard to have multiple receivers with, really impressive yardage total. I'll say this too, Matt Matt Lauder is also stealing some of those wide receiver receiving yards finally from the tight end position, which, I mean, if we want to talk about things that we were right and wrong about during the preseason, I think we can say that we were right about that. We were hyping Matt Miller up. I was driving the Matt Lauder train, Matt Miller train too, but the Matt Lauder train, long ago. And so he's having a phenomenal season, and he's been one of the best tight ends, not only in the Mountain West, but these last, 6 games, he's been one of the best tight ends really in college football. And he came up huge for Boise State the other night. So, I don't know. It's tough. And it seems like, sometimes we almost ask the same questions every week where we go in and what's the balance there, man. That there clearly is a balance. There's a risk reward. And right now with 35 sacks, the most in the country, you're willing to roll the dice. And as long as that maintains, you're going to continue to do it, in my opinion.
And with the sacks, Jay, I want to talk about that because, I mean, we're approaching historic numbers here. I mean, and it's hard to put this in context. But I mean, last year, all of last season, in 14 games, Boise State had 36 sacks. Right now, halfway through 14 games, I mean, they're 6-1. They have in their hope a championship game and a bowl game, or playoff game. They still have minimum, they hope, 7 games left. Boise State is already at 35 sacks. They are 1 sack away from the entire total they had last season. And you got to go back, 2019, Jay. Boise State had 40 sacks. And again, they could have that by, the end of this game on Friday. Yeah, so the stats that I'm looking at, CFP stats, only go back to 2016. I don't know how much further you're able to go back. I don't think they have it in the record book. I've looked and I can't find it.
And it's unfortunate. That's I would love to have that one in the record book because I mean, it's from what I feel like I've seen or known, they would be on pace not to just get the record, but potentially obliterate the record. I mean, they're getting after it in the sack total this year. It's pretty unheard of to do what they're doing.
And it's not just the D line. It's this dime package, whatever, that's kind of become their staple defense now, where they're just going with the one linebacker for the most part. And they told us, hey, we're going to find a way to get all these DBs on the field. And we kind of said, and they were right. I know they did it some last year, but just this year, just the way it's worked with all these guys taking that next step, whether it's Benefield, Zion Washington, whether it's Rodney, whether it's Tubner playing down more towards the line of scrimmage, like the versatility of some of these guys are letting them do this. And it's been really impressive. But I mean, when you're having Oladipo and Tubner, and I mean, again, I asked this to Chenander, like, I don't know how to quantify this, but it seems like their percentage of sacks coming from non-defensive linemen has to be as high as any team in the country. It's just, it's not just 1 or 2 guys. Sure. Hassanin and Jaden Virgin Morgan are doing their thing and right up there leading the conference. But when you're able to get pressure and get sacks from all these other guys, it's pretty impressive. And you know what? Maybe you'll trade that 40 or 50 yard pass in one-on-one coverage once in a while if you know on 3rd and 12 you're going to come home and get that sack.
And that's what I think this team's about, man. That's what I mean. I think that's the bread and butter of this team. I mean, Shea Oladipo has more sacks than any safety in college football right now, and that wasn't necessarily his forte coming into the season, but he's got multiple
like double-digit sacks.
Shea?
Yeah, what's he got? 4 or 5?
He's a 4.5, which depending on how many games they'd play, they're right around there. That's a big total though. That's a big total for him to potentially. Hey, 4.5 sacks for a safety is a lot. Like, Rodney Robinson isn't far off that total, and technically he got robbed of a sack against UNLV because he did get to Haj Malik Williams, who was called for intentional grounding, and had he held onto that ball and allowed Rodney to take him down, I don't know. I don't know if you could force an intentional grounding, you should get credited with the sack, but it is what it is. But he didn't, he got gypped of a sack against UNLV, and if he had that one, he'd be like second in the country in sacks for a safety. So they've brought it from all over the place, man. When it comes to pressure, and Jaden Virgin Morgan is becoming a massive problem for opposing defenses. Ahmed Hassanin already was. I think the funny thing about this, man, is that like Andrew Simpson, who is a phenomenal pass rusher, hasn't necessarily been used at the level he was in that role last season. And then you look at, against UNLV, he's the one guy that drops out when maybe you would expect him to come with the rest of those guys and drops into coverage, gets a pick, So, Eric Chenander, I really like Eric, man. He is very quick to push praise whenever he possibly can to other people, whether it be coaches, players. He's not one to take any praise. Like he pushes it away as quickly as he can. That being said, man, there were some calls there where he was in his bag against UNLV and was doing a really nice job at times.
And some of the overall stats still aren't like great when you look, Jay. And I know a lot of that's because earlier in the season, but I mean, just you overall look at some of these stats and say, okay, this isn't a dominant defense by any means, but they're getting the sacks, they're getting the tackles for loss, and when they need a big stop or a big play, I mean, they're getting it done. I mean, I don't think right now this defense is holding them back or whatever. I mean, the offense is certainly doing its thing, but it's not like that the offense is just outscoring teams because the defense sucks. I mean, they're doing some things, and I know early in the season, especially, there was a lot of criticism on Chenander and things, but and again, I get it. You look at some of the stats; they're still not great, but overall, I feel like this defense is doing a pretty good job. And when they need a big tackle or they need a big stop, for the most part, they're buckling down, they're bending but not breaking. They're giving up. They gave up that huge run early in the game to Haj Malik Williams. Well, they first inside the 5, and they hold him to a field goal. And McCoy runs and tackles him down, and they get inside there at the 3-yard line or whatever, and they end up having to settle for 3, and that ends up being a big play in the game. So again, I get it, and I know like when he got the DC job, was it Nebraska or UCF? I forget. A lot of the fans were like, "Oh, you're in trouble. This guy was." Whatever. And for whatever reason, I mean, no one loves the DC. Every DC always gets criticized, whatever. When a team loses, it's always the DC's fault. I get it. But the pressure he's dialing up, the things that he's doing, like you said, I mean, if you're an objectional fan looking at this thing and watching the games, I think you got to say that Eric Chenander, is doing a pretty good job this year.
Yeah. And in the games where they've needed to, actually, the defense has been pretty good. Oregon was a close game. They only gave up 23 points on defense. Washington State was close until the end of the third quarter. Then Boise State's offense got rolling and ended up blowing them out. But that's a very good Washington State offense that Boise State held in check. Hawaii scores 7 points against Boise State. You look at UNLV. Did we all forget that UNLV was the 5th-ranked scoring offense in the country? And Boise State held them to about half of their average this season. I mean, it's when they need them, they for the most part have been pretty darn good. And so, you can look at the stats, and I am one to look at the stats. You know that, BJ, and everybody else for that matter. But in this case, like, they're doing what it takes to win ball games, and they're doing that at a level that we have not seen at Boise State in quite some time.
No doubt. Jay, quickly, someone was asking about a couple of things. One, the tough game this weekend. You want CSU to win out to play them in the championship, but if Nevada wins, better chance at big noon kickoff. And then somebody else brought up, actually maybe the same gentleman, potential for kickoff times for Nevada. Super intriguing. Again, I follow this stuff probably more than I should. But the 4 times it looked like they're left, Jay, are 12 or 4 Eastern on Fox, or 1:30 or 5, or that Mountain Time is 10 a.m. or 1:30 on Fox, or 1:30 and 5, I believe, something like that on Fox Sports 1. So looks like it's not going to be a 7:45, 8 p.m. late game, which helps. Looks like the latest it could start maybe is 5 o'clock on FS1. There's a couple of Big 12 games that have to be decided, but if Ashton Jeanty goes out and has a big game against San Diego State and throws himself back in the conversation here, and if Nevada, I don't even know if they have to win, but certainly if they do, I think that would help. But I think, they were going to come for the UCF game at one point, or they were talking about it. There was another game they were going to maybe come for. I think that there's an opportunity to show off, go to a new place they haven't been before, show off Ashton Jeanty. Like, unlike ESPN, Fox actually has a deal right now with Boise State and their home games in the Mountain West, and to do a game on the Blue. I mean, I think that big noon kickoff, the show, or at least the game at 10 a.m. And I think that's they go together, but that's at least on the table here as a possibility.
Yeah. be interesting to see what game day would think about that. I wonder how does that work? Who gets dibs? That's what I would like to know. How does that?
There's been numerous times this year they've both gone to the same place.
All right. Well, could college game day all of a sudden see some interest in there? I know like Alabama's at home this week.
I'm gonna say no chance.
Whatever. I'm just throwing stuff at a wall.
I mean, it'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be cool. I'd love it. And it's the last Saturday home game opportunity to do it.
Yep. And that's what I mean. It's really the last opportunity. Like if you're going to come watch Ashton Jeanty and the Broncos this year, that's the opportunity. I don't think Nevada has to win. And if anything, Boise State fans, I would be rooting like hell for Colorado State because UNLV is a good squad. Me selfishly, yeah, I want to see Boise State and UNLV again on the blue in the Mountain West Conference Championship game because that was an awesome football game last Friday down in Las Vegas. But if you're talking about Boise State's chances of making sure they finish the season right, give me Colorado State over UNLV. And I might eat my words later. That's fine. But I would absolutely rather take on a Colorado State team with Braden Fowler Nicolosi, who is your perennial 125 quarterback rating quarterback. I know they got the best of them last year. This is a different team. That was just a different time. That seems like a billion years ago for this Boise State coaching staff. But I don't even think that Nevada has to win. I think that the Jeff Choate storyline is enough to fuel that fire. Last time Boise State was really in a position to go to, a game that would change the trajectory of the program. They've gotten a Fiesta Bowl since. I don't know if I'm going too far here, but, that year Boise State had a chance to go to the national championship game and Nevada essentially knocked them out of it. So maybe you could relive that. I don't think that it has anything to do with Nevada winning, though. I think there would be other factors that would be more into it than that.
Jesse does want him to bring Brotzman back for that game.
That'd be cool. Kyle's a great guy. So I'm on the sideline at a high school football game a few weeks ago.
By the way, I know it's different because I think College Game Day has gone to 3 Big Ten schools this year and they don't have a deal with the Big Ten anymore. That's still a little different for me than the Mountain West and them not having a deal with them. So if they had a deal and the home game was on ESPN, ESPN2, whatever, I would say there's a much greater chance. I just don't see them coming all the way out to Idaho for a game that's on Fox. Yeah. I just don't see it.
I think in order to stay in that discussion, Boise State probably has to win kind of decisively against San Diego State. Ashton has to go for over 200 yards. He's not out of the Heisman race. I know what you're saying there, BJ. Like, he's just not the favorite at the moment anymore. He's still one of about 4 right now. There's a huge drop-off after Ashton. He's got the 4th best odds. But if he can have a big game, I think that's what would satisfy the appetite of, the big-time national programs for maybe visiting the Blue, coming up here in 10 days or whatever it is.
They've traditionally had trouble selling out the championship game because you only have a week to sell it. If it was UNLV and you had or anybody, I guess, but if Boise State hosts this and you have a chance to go to the college football playoff with a win, like in what they're doing with ticket sales, like is there any chance we can talk about them getting over 30,000 or trying to sell out this championship game?
Oh, they better. You get one more chance to watch Ashton Jeanty on the Blue. You get a chance to watch a top 25 caliber matchup with a college football playoff riding on the line. And hey, that was a big victory for Boise State when it comes to the college football playoff last Friday. But if they can't win the Mountain West Conference Championship game, like it would kind of all be for naught in all honesty. Like they have to win the Mountain West Conference Championship game if they want to go to the college football playoff. That might not be a technicality, but that is like that. I strongly believe that they have to do that in order to go to the college football playoff.
Hey, well, we'll keep this thing rolling for a few more minutes. I want to thank a few sponsors here. Hey, TacoBellWorks.com. Check them out. TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. And again, next time you're looking for a delicious, cheap meal, great food, head on into Taco Bell. I'm loving the Cantina Bowl. I can sub out the rice and beans for some lettuce. Nice keto options there. So the kids love the just very simple, basic, cheesy roll-up. It's just cheese and it's tortilla. And for whatever reason, Taco Bell makes it better than I can at my house. So check them out. Again, TacoBellWorks.com if you're looking for a job. And they can get you going there at TacoBellWorks.com. Speaking of jobs, how about transportation compliance service? You ever thought of the trucking industry? You probably haven't, but you should. It's a very lucrative industry. You can be out there on your own. You kind of set your hours. And so transcomservice.com, they're based here in the Treasure Valley. They're helping folks all over the world sign up, all the DOT overweight, all the permits and things you need. Check them out. Transportation compliance service, transcomservice.com. The blue and orange store.com. If you want to, Ashton Jeanty, all these guys, Ahmed Hassanin, like you can still help them out and put a little money back in their pocket. All the NIL gear, they've got the biggest selection, the best selection at the Blue and Orange store, whether it's hats, jerseys, the jerseys, sweatshirts. Portion of the sales go back to the student athletes. So support a sponsor of BNN, the Blue and Orange store, but most importantly, support your favorite players, Ashton Jeanty and those guys, and put money back in their pocket by purchasing your NIL gear at the Blue and Orange store and the blueandorangestore.com. Again, anywhere in the world, you can order online, the blueandorangestore.com, and they'll ship. Or if you're in the Boise area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall. They're on the second floor next to Pro Image. And again, jerseys, caps, sideline apparel, the clearance rack, the daily deals, everything they've gotten. You're not going to find a better selection at better prices for Boise State here in the Blue and Orange store. And again, it's a blue out and blackout, kind of a stripe the stadium thing going on Friday. So see what section you're in and go get your gear at the Blue and Orange store. Hope you took advantage yesterday. They gave the deal to Ahmed Hassanin. He had half a sack and a half of tackle for loss. They put him together and they gave him his sack. So hope you got your coffee or your fountain drink. 91 cents at Jackson's yesterday. Every Monday after Ahmed Hassanin gets a sack, you get a coffee or a fountain drink for 91 cents at Jackson's. So take advantage of that deal every Monday. No Breezy bundle today. Typically on a Tuesday, if Breezy scores, you can get a hot dog and a soda for $1. Maybe next week if he can get back out there this week. But speaking of hot dogs, don't forget 25 cents from every hot dog sold goes to the Horseshoe Collective. So next time you're walking through Jackson's looking for a quick snack, grab a hot dog because 25 cents goes back into the pockets of the student athletes at Boise State via the Horseshoe Collective. Speaking of food, how about Lean Feast? Check out leanfeastmeridian.com. Had my Lean Feast, my Taco Fiesta Bowl yesterday. I'll be having another one today. And leanfeastmeridian.com. Check them out. 10,000 plus combinations, all different diets. And again, the best part is you can order it on a Monday. They're good in the refrigerator for 5 days. And then all it takes is 2 minutes in the microwave. And you're eating steak, shrimp, fish, turkey, chicken, all different kinds of combinations, as I said. And now they deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley. So if you were looking for, easy, affordable, great, healthy meals, leanfeastmeridian.com is the option there. Leanfeastmeridian.com. If you still need your sprinkler blowouts and things done, check out Alex Martin, 208lawnandlandscape.com, 208lawnandlandscape.com. If you got a birthday party or something coming up, they're renting out bounce houses and things as well. So support a former Bronco. He's not playing on the team this year after his brother graduated last year, but Alex Martin, great dude, does tremendous work with lawn care. So whether it's a sprinkler blowout or just some landscaping work, hit up our man Alex Martin, 208 Lawn and Landscape, 208lawnandlandscape.com. We need some voicemails. We haven't had a voicemail in a couple days. I've done a bad job promoting it. Signature Roofing, starting tomorrow, actually. I'm going to be getting a new roof from Signature Roofing. I am a customer, a client of theirs, and looking forward to telling you about the process of getting a new roof through Signature Roofing. So I cannot wait for this, and we need to get some more voicemails in here. So get your thoughts in on Marquez Cooper, on Ashton Jeanty, on this defense, anything you got 23 hours to get it in by 9 a.m. tomorrow. But we'll give a $25 gift card to the James Kitchen and Bar for the best voicemail on tomorrow's show. So you got Brad Bedell co-hosting tomorrow. You got a question for Brad Bedell. You got a thought. Get it in. MySignatureRoofing.com is their website with Signature Roofing. But to get that voicemail recorded, speakpipe.com/BNN. Speakpipe.com/BNN. You can do it right there from your phone, right there from your computer. It's super easy. Record the message, and we'll play them on tomorrow's show. And the best one on tomorrow's show gets a $25 gift card to the James Kitchen and Bar. But again, Signature Roofing, a local roofer, been around 20 plus years. They do tremendous work. They've done a lot of projects, including Bronco Gym down at Boise State. So check them out, support them. They're huge fans, and we appreciate it. And it's been fun getting to know them. They've got an NIL deal with RJ Keene, so we have a lot more cool stuff coming here moving forward. But check them out, mysignatureroofing.com, and get those voicemails in, speakpipe.com/BNN. All right, Jay had to run, but I'm keeping this going for a couple more seconds here. I played this yesterday. I've played this online, but we're going to play it every day this week. Derek Stevens, the owner of Circa, they are coming to town. Here's the official announcement from Derek.
Can't wait for Bronco Nation. We're coming to Boise State after that 5-point victory against UNLV. We're ready to go. We're flying in and out. We got Wilbo. Come on, baby. Let's go, Boise. Let's go, Boise. And we're also, hey, DJ Reigns, I want to make sure I understand. Where's the place we're throwing the party at?
The James.
At the James.
Yes.
Let's go. Ella.
They better have the booze ready.
All right, this is a really cool opportunity. It really is, and I'm asking for your help, guys. 3 o'clock on Friday. We need to pack the James Kitchen and Bar. 3 o'clock on Friday. Take the afternoon off. If you have plans to be tailgating in the stadium, leave your tailgate for a half an hour. Come over to the James. The owner of Circa, I mean, this is a multi-millionaire CEO of a casino in Vegas, getting on a private jet and flying all the way to Boise, Idaho to go to a football game. It's going to be an awesome day. I'm really pumped they're coming. They're flying in around noon. We're going to do a tour of some things, the facility and stuff, and then they're going to come over to the James and hang out, and they want to put their credit card down and take care of the party for a while. So 3 o'clock to 4:30. Again, take a break from your tailgating. Maybe make plans for this one because it's kind of an earlier Friday game. You don't want to set up your big tailgating thing. Just come hang out at the James. 3 o'clock to 4:30. We'll be out on the patio, and they're going to have swag to give away. They tell me they may even print some tickets. I think they're going to do this. They're going to print some Ashton Jeanty Heisman tickets, some Boise State playoff tickets, and pass them out to the crowd. So you may get a free betting ticket for Boise State to win the CFP, or for Ashton Jeanty to win the Heisman, a free ticket. They're going to make a bet for you and bring some tickets. So they're going to have some hats, some sweatshirts, I think all kinds of cool stuff. They're bringing 8 people. 8 people are getting, piling into a private jet. The president, the owner, the director of operations, a lot of the big wigs at Circa are coming to Boise on Friday because of BNN and because of all of you guys that have stayed at Circa and supported Circa through our sponsorship. They want to return the favor, and they want to hear what they've been hearing a lot from me talking about the blue and seeing a game there and Ashton Jeanty, and they want to see it in person. So they're coming up, and they're going to host a pregame party at the James Kitchen and Bar Friday, 3 o'clock. So get there at 2:45. When they show up at 3, I want that place to be packed. 3 o'clock out on the patio, 3 to 4:30. I want to have those patio doors swing open, and I want the crowd to go crazy, cheering for those guys from Circa as they walk out and start the party. So make plans now. Tell your friends, even if you don't drink, just come have a Diet Coke, hang out, whatever. But, Circa's going to put – Derek Stevens, the owner, is going to put his credit card down and give it to Barry at the James and say the next 90 minutes is on me. So come hang out, meet the owners, meet all the guys, get some connections if you ever want to stay at Circa. It's going to be a lot of fun, and this is like a historic day. It's pretty cool. So really hope you can try to stop by. I know you all have tailgates, you all have work, you all have problems, but if everybody could come by 3 o'clock, 3 to 4:30, and again, I'm actually asking like 250 or whatever if you can, so we can have the place packed when they show up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And just to think about, a casino owner wanting to come check out a game on the blue, that's pretty darn cool. And they want to throw a party and thank all of you guys for what you've done, staying at Circa and the big 200 plus people we had at the party. I think that there's, a lot of reasons that they want to come up and do this, but I think a big one is to thank you guys for and thank BNN for their sponsorship and the business that we're giving them. So make plans if you can. Try to stop by at some point between 3 and 4:30. Don't be shy. Come out, meet the owners. Make sure you tell them thank you for supporting BNN, and that tell them you've stayed there because of BNN, or you plan to stay there because of BNN. And let's try to make it the best 9 hours in Boise than anyone's ever had. We're taking them to lunch. We got a lot of great plans for them, and then they're going to watch the game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you 3 to 4:30 on Friday, and I'm going to tell you about it every day this week and continue to plead, and tell you, because we want to make this thing worth it to them. We don't want to have them walk out to an empty patio at the James on Friday. So we'll see you all on Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're working on details for our pregame show and try to do it out there while all this is going on. But so it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to be kind of the host for these guys on their visits. So some of the coverage, some of the things may be a little sporadic, maybe not quite as usual on Friday if I'm going around with these guys to the different tours and things they have planned and trying to make sure they're all good. So I'm kind of their host on this trip. So may not be quite the normal pregame show or the pregame setup or in-game tweeting or that kind of stuff, but we'll have the post-game show as usual. We're looking forward to that. We'll be back at the James for the post-game show. And again, appreciate everybody for understanding on this, but also trying to help us out and make it out on Friday to see. No, you don't have the invite to lunch. Sorry about that. This is a private lunch. We got some, if you want to become a big time advertiser like our friend Travis Hawks and some of the other folks that are coming, then we can make that happen. But as of now, I don't think so. There is an open invitation for the party though, 3 to 4:30, but not for lunch. No. Don't let Prater talk trash to them. Prater loves Circa, loves the D. So I think he'll be giving them lots of positivity and things because he was out there over the weekend and loved it. Super cool. Looking forward to welcoming them to Boise. Let's see. Just give Bedell the opportunity to tweet on your behalf. Brad Bedell and a few drinks. He's going nowhere near my Twitter feed. I can tell you that. No doubt about. That's one of the easiest calls I can make right there. Although I got to tell you, I was actually thinking for one hand splitting face cards in Vegas just to be able to tell Brad Bedell that I tried it and have the experience. But I was almost out of money, and the opportunity never came up where it was a face card against a 5 or a 6. So I never did it, but I almost did it just because I just didn't want to. I didn't have the opportunity, and then I didn't want to tick anybody else off at my table, but I thought about it, and I know that's the legend of Brad Bedell, so we'll see. Maybe at some point next time I'm in Vegas, I can do it one time just to say I did, but we're over an hour. We got interviews coming up. I got like 5 players I'm talking to today, so I got to get down to Boise State. We got 5 player interviews coming up in about an hour. Those will be all over the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel later today. I'm working on a story on the sacks. I'm working on a story on Maddox Madsen. So we got multiple stories and things coming throughout the week here at BroncoNationNews.com. So as soon as Boise State clinches home field, they can start selling tickets. So yeah, once they know they're hosting, yeah, you can start selling the tickets right away. So they don't know they're hosting yet, so they can't do that. But hopefully they will have a little extra time when it comes to that to try to have a couple weeks to push ticket sales and things as they try to push forward and try to get a sellout. Because I don't think they've even gotten to 30,000 for a championship game. So if they could sell it out, that would certainly be amazing. And I think they'll take all the options they can when it comes to that. So if you can, make sure you hit the like button. I think it's over right about here somewhere. The like button, the subscribe button. We're pushing to 6,000. We're about 30 subscribers on YouTube away from 6,000. And I know some of you complain about the pop-up ads on YouTube that pop up, but you're still watching a free show on YouTube, and it's because of our sponsors. A lot of them behind me. Taco Bell's not listed up there. They're a major sponsor. My Signature Roofing. Some of our other great major sponsors that we need to get added to the board. But go support the sponsors and keep this thing free on YouTube and make this thing all kind of roll around. So subscribe if you can. And again, $50. You see that promo code going across the bottom of the screen. BNN 50 deal gets your first year of BroncoNationNews.com for just $50. Mike Prater will have a story this week. I'll have multiple stories. It's going to be a fun next couple of months following this team and then following the basketball team. So highly recommend you subscribing if you can. We would really appreciate that. Now, big announcement tonight. 8 o'clock, Riley and Rid. I should have done this earlier in the show before some folks dipped out. But Riley and Rid tonight, they got 4 guests. They got Brock Forsey, who is going into the Boise State Hall of Fame this weekend. Donnie Heck, David Michael, and Greg Swenson. Again, Brock Forsey, Donnie Heck, David Michael, and Greg Swenson. All guys, 4 guys, plenty of stories to tell. Riley and Rid, there's going to be 6 guys. It'll be the first time we've ever had 6 on the show. We'll have to figure out the microphone situation, but really looking forward to Riley and Rid tonight, 8 o'clock. Don't miss it. Stories, memories, all kinds of stuff. So tonight, 8 o'clock, make plans to watch Riley and Rid. Brock Forsey, David Michael, Donnie Heck, Greg Swenson. And if you can't watch it live, it will be taped. Shelby says, I'll be watching that. My childhood coming back to me. So going to be some great stories, a lot of fun. That'll be 8 o'clock tonight, live from the James Kitchen and Bar. So if you are in the area and want to come watch that in person, 8 o'clock tonight, come meet those guys at the James Kitchen and Bar and watch the show. If not, you can watch the replay there on YouTube or watch it live on YouTube as well. So thanks everybody for their support. Again, go subscribe if you can, whether it be to the website, whether it be to the social media channels. Tell your friends. Going to be a fun week. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll see you Friday at 3 at the James. A lot of cool stuff going on this week. Brad Bedell and I will be back at 9 tomorrow. And again, get those voicemails in, speakpipe.com/BNN. We'll give away a $25 gift card to the James for whoever has the best voicemail on tomorrow's show. So questions for Brad, comments, whatever you got, get them in now, speakpipe.com/BNN. And again, we appreciate all of our great sponsors, and we appreciate all you guys for your comments, for watching. The show would be kind of boring if the YouTube chat was just empty and it was me and Jay talking to each other. So all your comments, all your questions, all your discussion, we really, really appreciate it. Bring it back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. But again, bring it tonight 8 p.m. Get your questions, your comments in for those guys, and it's going to be an awesome show tonight at the James Kitchen and Bar. So have a great rest of your day. We'll get the interviews posted to the YouTube channel this afternoon. We'll get some stories posted as well, and we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by RowPaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, The Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.